Everybody, welcome. Talking over Path of Exile stuff here.
One of the skills we're using here is called Whirling Slash.
New class is a spear.
It creates a sandstorm that grows in size each time you use the skill. When you leave the sandstorm, it explodes, dealing damage to nearby monsters. A great way to do that is to use the Disengage skill, which makes you fly backwards and throw projectiles. In PoE 2, each area's mini-boss is a much more substantial fight with interesting mechanics. You'll be able to find at least one mini-boss in each area of the game.
This is Path of Exile 2 stuff, by the way.
It destroys the ceiling when it slams the ground, letting in more light. Clever players will notice that if they're standing in the light, then they're not going to have any rocks falling on their head. The Rapid Assault skill that we're using against this boss does 3 rapid stabs, followed by a 4th stab that deals more damage and can stun, if you're willing to commit to a long attack time. While developing the skills for Path of Exile 2, we were really thinking a lot about designing skills that could be cancelled early to dodge, or you can commit to the full attack for maximum damage.
Okay, this looks legit.
One of the skills we're using here is called Spear Field, which creates an area of spears coming out of the ground that impale monsters who walk into them, causing them to bleed. As the monsters move towards you, they take damage, so using your mobility skills as a way to move away from them is a great strategy here. In Path of Exile 2, we've invested a lot in our animation system. I'm sure you're noticing the animations are looking a lot better than they did in PoE 1, but there's also a lot of subtle detail, like characters having different run animations depending on how fast they're moving. When we use a Quicksilver Flask here, you can see the character changes to a sprinting animation.
I'm not gonna lie, this looks sick as hell.
Now that we've arrived at the Ancient Gates, we're going to show you another of the new weapon classes in Path of Exile 2, crossbows. Crossbows are special in that they grant attack skills implicitly. This particular crossbow grants Power Shot, which is a high damage single target attack. In order to modify what Power Shot does, you're going to need to equip bolt skill gems, which change the type of bolts that are loaded into the crossbow. Here we've got 3 different bolts that the character can switch between depending on the situation.
Armor-piercing bolts. Incendiary bolts.
Permafrost bolts can be used to disrupt packs of enemies to prevent them from closing in on your position. You can then follow up with armor-piercing bolts to do plenty of damage.
Slick new UI.
In this area, we're helping Asala, leader of the Ardura, to open the Ancient Gates and let the Caravan through. Because the bolt types are the skill gems, support gems that are added to them will modify whatever the skill is that you're using. Here we're going to add multiple projectiles to our Incendiary Bolt.
I'm digging the UI and stuff with the gems. Boom. Bang, 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 bang. Oh.
Incendiary
I'm okay with this. The crossbow looks legit. Oh, let me refresh this.
Do you want the epic stuff? You know, the iconic, insane action, spellbinding stuff.
Let me in.
We're AMC Plus, and we've got only the good stuff.
There's a big, beautiful world waiting for you out there.
Incendiary bolts. Omens, give these demons no cause. Farragon has fallen to corruption, and their eyes gleam like night. Armor-piercing bolts. Hammerfrost bolts. Incendiary bolts.
We try to add a lot more little details to combat in Path of Exile 2. You might notice that the monsters who die while burning have charred corpses. We really want to make sure that there's a feeling that as you leave the battlefield, there's clear evidence of what combat took place there.
Hammerfrost bolts. Armor-piercing bolts. Hammerfrost bolts. Incendiary bolts. Armor-piercing bolts. Hammerfrost bolts. Incendiary bolts. Armor-piercing bolts. Incendiary bolts. Armor-piercing bolts. Hammerfrost bolts. Incendiary bolts. Incendiary bolts. Hammerfrost bolts. Incendiary bolts. Hammerfrost bolts. Incendiary bolts.
Okay.
Armor-piercing bolts.
This is the Perennial King, the leader of the Faradun. His goal here is to prevent you from capturing the Caravan at any cost.
Armor-piercing bolts.
Outside, we fight!
chase the king. Man, nobody told me I had to run.
Quickly! He conjures the very sands against us!
This madness has gone on long enough. The king is not the man I once knew. And sands swallow me if I do any more to enable him. You plan to continue your pursuit, yes? You will not catch him. Not without me.
We cannot follow through the raging sands. Let us return to the caravan and question this defector.
This is the Ardura Caravan, your town in Act 2.
I am Asala, the Sekima of the Ardura. I care not where you came from, nor what caste you might have been there. All that matters is that you have shown yourself capable in battle, Jinga. Remain a friend to the Ardura, and you shall have nothing but respect from us. From what your shade has told us, the situation is dire. This Balbalic will live or die based on her usefulness in pursuit of the seed of corruption. Ask her what questions you will, then we, Ardura, will decide her fate.
You need not trust me. You will see the truth of my information soon enough. I ask nothing of you. Only that you do what you know is right.
One of the things we really wanted to do in Act 2 was to use the mobility of the caravan to allow the player to choose how they explore the act. Here you're given 4 options on how to proceed.
There is a
So
tribe
options
of
instead of just
inhabits
answering.
amongst
So
the
kind of like what they did with the bandits
Worship the bones of those long ago
in
beasts.
1, but
That faith has given rise to powerful tasks that can somehow call on storms and strike enemies with lightning. The king wishes to steal these objects of worship and use their lightning in war. Do what you must.
Though events demand you tread upon a valley of the dead, do not do so flagrantly. Keep your presence light. Cleanse what corruption you can, and we shall skirmish with the Faradun to protect your flank.
Once you've picked your destination, the caravan will travel to that area and come to a stop so that you can disembark and go on your quest. Because we just got the Storm Spear skill as a quest reward, now would be a great time to switch back to spears and use some ranged abilities.
alright, I am
Storm Spear
already
fires a lightning
wanting
projectile which splits
like
on contact.
fast equip, unless I'm seeing that wrong.
The other skill we're using here is called Blazing Lance. Blazing Lance creates a trail of fire from the ground, dealing damage over time. However, if you're willing to stand in place for long enough, you can throw a second spear that will fan the flames for much more damage.
These flames look an awful lot like lightning bolts. Ooh, that's neat.
We've just found a unique spear. It's called Devata's Wind. This spear has an extra modifier that synergizes really well with Storm Spear. When you disengage, you get 2 additional projectiles on your projectile skills.
Can't lie, man, that spear looks really good. I like the spear a lot. All those abilities look so cool. can't lie, being able to open the gate of Babylon below people is right up my alley. Oop. The more I'm watching the spear, I am in.
If you have any questions about what you just saw, we'll be doing a Q&A later on. While Path of Exile 2 definitely won't be released this year, we do have a Path of Exile expansion you can play 1 week from now. I'd like to
Okay,
introduce
so no
Path of Exile
PoE 2 this
Ultimatum.
year. Got it.
You only live once, Exile. Make your choice. A simple ultimatum. Leave with your life and a meager reward, or risk it all for a chance at ungodly riches.
That's what the ultimatum is.
For each trial you accept, the challenge grows.
Okay.
But fail and leave with nothing.
So is it a change on hardcore stuff then?
Reap the reward you deserve.
So I mean, next week though is League Reset.
Ultimate reward requires ultimate risk. Face the ultimatum.
When some people think of the Val civilization, they think of blood sacrifices, or Queen Atzeri, or lost temples in the jungle. But I think of risking your items. From Varlorbs through Double Corruption, the whole Varlor no balls meme, we had to make sure that this expansion was about the concept of risking your items to get great reward. In each area of the Ultimatum League, you'll meet the Trial Master, an emissary of a vile entity only known as Chaos. On behalf of Chaos, the Trial Master enacts trials where exiles must risk an escalating set of valuable rewards as they attempt to overcome progressively more difficult encounters. In each trial, you'll be presented with a reward, an objective, and a selection of difficulty modifiers that make the trial harder. Once you've chosen one of the modifiers, you must then complete that objective under the constraints of that modifier in order to win the promised reward. If you succeed in the challenge, the Trial Master will present you with an ultimatum. Either walk away with what you have earned so far, or risk it all to try to win additional rewards. He'll offer you another item if you can select an additional difficulty modifier and complete the challenge with both modifiers present. If you fail though, you'll lose both rewards and walk away with nothing. If you succeed, you'll be offered an additional reward in exchange for adding yet another difficulty modifier that stacks on top of the current ones. This cycle continues until the rewards become increasingly valuable and the encounter extremely difficult. You'll have to pick a point to end your run and claim your spoils before you make the encounter too hard and lose everything.
Okay.
At its longest, an ultimatum in endgame maps can sometimes have up to 10 fast trials in a row, with a special surprise in the last one. In maps, you'll occasionally find items called inscribed ultimatums. These items can be placed in the map device to transport you to the Trial Master's domain. Each inscribed ultimatum specifies an offering that you must bring with you, a reward you can earn, and an assortment of ultimatum difficulty modifiers. If you're able to complete the Trial Master will reward you with a specified reward, which is usually worth around twice the value of the item you must bring. For example, you may be asked to risk an Exalted Orb to win a stack of 2, or potentially risk a stack of 5 to win a stack of 10. Naturally, inscribed ultimatums can be traded with other players, so if you don't feel capable of completing a difficult challenge, you may be able to trade it away for a portion of the difference in price between the reward and the item that must be risked. Likewise, if you have a powerful character, you may be able to selectively trade for profitable ultimatums to run. There are also new unique items that can only be obtained from Ultimatum. One such unique is the
Oh man, gotta love, makes me feel better when it's not just me. Okay, just kind of went down. Neat. Very neat. It's still showing as live. Okay. It's only 159,000 people. Yeah. Why is it not? Okay, apparently Twitch is being super dumb. But yeah, so we got next week is Ultimatum. So I don't know if that means that we are immediately going to jump into that, or if we're going to try and look at other games for right now. I guess it just means I guess it depends on if there's anything we want to play or not. I know Phil is I think Phil is a little burned out on it, but not entirely sure. I will ask him. Probably get Delete back though, so you know. Other than that, yeah, this is CJ, and I am gonna go ahead and sign out for right now. And thank you so much for hanging out with me. Greatly appreciated as always. Be good to one another. Love you all. We will see you tomorrow night with more Path of Exile.